isn't hurt by mold anymore, just you don't feel it, right? You seem to be in my, the best way I had to explain it was a concept that somebody told me was, you know, if you see the oil light go on in your car, the best way to deal with it's to cut the oil light, not change the oil. So what they were doing, from what I could tell, is doing that very idea, is just cut the oil light off so you don't even know you're getting exposed to mold now and your body's being hurt. And so we were told that this is a good idea to do with our daughter.
Yeah, I think that would probably be about as good for the car as it is for a person. You know, if there's a really damage going on and you ignore that warning system long enough, there's going to be a price to pay.
Are you saying the engine's going to shut down?
Absolutely. And I personally believe that the people who are trying these
desensitization,
that they may calm their fight or flight response for a while, and they may think that they're doing better, but in the long run, probably from an immunological standpoint, we're not going to see any benefit from this kind of thing.
Sure. Well, it makes sense that if you can, we said no, only because we liked the idea that Sienna could walk into a building and know, she could feel what she'll describe as I feel tired, Daddy. That's what she describes. And so we don't want that to go away because we want her to then walk out of the building and just don't get exposed to it.
Well, there were people claiming that they could desensitize you using magnets.
Magnetism?
Yeah, that's one of the theories that got a lot of airplay, is that by placing magnets over your various chi points, like on the forehead, and
sure,
that it was like acupuncture on steroids.
Okay.
And this would retrain your nervous system to be not so responsive to external threats.
The desensitization, that makes sense. It's exactly what it is.
And yeah, so I actually tried that. I figured, what the hell, it's only magnets.
What is it going to do to you?
Right.
Right.
And at the end of it, when it didn't work, they said, well, it didn't work because you didn't believe in it.
Ah, I see.
I go, well, if I have to believe in it, that we're talking about power of the mind stuff. That's just placebo effect. I thought we were talking about something real here.
Right. The power of positive thinking all over again in a new way?
Yeah.
Have you found that in the different therapies that people tried even back then, that if it didn't work, that was generally what doctors wanted to tell you? There's something wrong with your mental state.
Sure.
That's why it didn't work. This pill didn't work for you because you didn't believe it would work.
Yep.
Have you found that in a lot of, in your own personal life, in addition to that, people you've observed? And you've been working with the mold community for 30 some odd years now. You've probably dealt with tens of thousands of people who have sought you out. A lot of people, I'm sure, whether through social media or personally, or people in this area, or people that went through the original, you know, plague that hit North Lake Tahoe, right?
Well,
and so,
as you can tell, I'm not too big on these brain retraining schemes.
Sure.
I think that's pretty much a scam. It may address.
You really think it's a bad idea, even if it did work? What if it did work?
I think for people who do have panic disorders or post-traumatic stress disorder,
sure,
that it would be a benefit. But when it's conflated with an actual pathophysiology,
something's going to hurt your body.
And yeah, you tried beating yourself to death, thinking that you need to change when it's really something very real out in the environment that you need to avoid. It'd be better off to just like avoid it.
Right.
In my humble opinion.
I think it's a reasonable one. So that's where you had come up with the idea of mold avoiders, or avoiding mold, as your best solution for you in your life has been to not try and desensitize yourself or take some pill or some therapy. It's just avoid the dang stuff.
Yeah, well, in the Army, I nearly killed my commanding officer by being called in for disciplinary action and breathing in his face after I had just eaten a peanut butter sandwich. And I had no idea that he had that peanut allergy. And he's yelling at me. I mean, he was really upset. It's like, you know, what's your excuse, Johnson? You know, what? And I'm going, no excuse, sir. Yes, sir. No, sir.
Right.
I will scrub those toilets, sir.
Yes, sir.
And all of a sudden, he just turns red and he drops. He could
right in front of you.
Right in front of me. I mean, he's on the floor. I'm fighting for his life.
Did you have an EpiPen at the time, or did they have that? You're talking about the mid-70s.
I don't think if they had anything, I didn't see anybody trying to apply it to him. One of the sergeants immediately grabbed me, and pulled me away from him and said, "What did you have for lunch, Johnson?" And I'm going, "What the hell, man? I mean, the commanding officer is dying of a heart attack."
What does my lunch have to do with it?
Yeah. And I said, "I had a sandwich. What's your problem?" It's, "What kind of sandwich?" "A peanut butter sandwich." And then that's when it hit me. He had the peanut allergy.
Interesting.
And
the extreme peanut allergy.
Right. And all it took was a few molecules from my breath to drop him in his tracks. And when I realized that going through a mold zone, I had lingering effects, I had this model. Wow, I must be reactive in a very similar way to my commanding officer was, where mere molecules have upregulated my immune system
to the point where you're almost running.